So the idea of the game is to kill the spiders. Those are these little nasty guys here. And you have a number of bugs per level. And they are different types of bugs, and they have different different behaviors and abilities. So if I hit that, bam! Alright, what happened there? I'll show you again. The idea is every time you put a bug down, you get a timer. Woo! So these allow for a little strategy in the game. It's kind of I guess it's like Angry Birds, but there's more planning involved, hopefully. More strategy, less hit and hope. Okay, I got him. So the two birds, cut. The two bugs that I've got working at the moment are the ladybird, which is a basic bomb, standard. And he just explodes. Yeah, nice. Nearly did it there. And there's the hedgehog, which is sort of a cluster bomb. When he explodes, all his little spines fly into the air and also do damage. So, with that in mind, you can do interesting things, like if I set this one on a later charge than this one, then the force of that will blast him into the... There we go. See, that's kind of cool. And we've also got a bee, which will float. And it doesn't matter how late you set the charge. I mean, that's set for 6 seconds. If he gets hit by something else, he'll explode. So you can use that with the hedgehog spines. Kaboom. Okay. So I guess the reason I wanted to do a video is because I wanted to show you some of the techniques I'm using in this game, including the sort of pseudo 2D, which is really simply done. Actually, it's just an orthographic camera with everything just facing the camera. And if I align this scene up to the back view just by clicking on this orientation handler, you can see that the X goes from left to right and the Y goes up and down, just like you'd expect in any sort of 2D engine. And this means I can work with all this stuff in regular 2D coordinates. I can just use vector 2s for position if I wanted to. And the only the only crazy thing is this: each rigid body has a constraints section. This is new to Unity 3.3, I think. If you just freeze the position of the Z, that means it won't move back and forwards. And then you could just allow the rotation on 1 degree, one axis. It behaves exactly like a 2D engine. And that's it, literally. You notice I've got different layers here where they are in front and behind. It's pretty much just for me, because there is layering still. I mean, using the Z coordinate for layering is fine. That is what it does. I mean, you can see this spider here. He will go behind things, although his eyes are in front of it. So there's a bit of a layer problem there. But you can see him going through the grass. It's like there's a foreground grass and a background grass, so you get a bit of a layer, bit of a feel for the 3D there. Okay. So the cool shit starts when I talk about editing the levels, because that's all just done in the editor, which is as good an editor as any that you'd need for a game like this. It's really great, actually. I mean, I've got my own set of functions to clear the level up here and save and load new levels and things. So if I just get rid of all this, yeah. So in my project folder, I've got a set of prefabs in the level objects folder, and all these are level objects that I can use, add to the level, whatever. I drag on a piece of wood, can resize it, position it, do whatever. Yeah, so we'll make a little stack here just for fun. Now, why am I not putting them right next to each other? I'll show you why in a second. Because the beauty part of this is that I've got a flag in my game manager that just goes straight to the game, skips all the menus and everything, doesn't load any levels, just loads this scene. And that's really handy, because if I wanted to have a set of boxes stacked in a natural way, you can't load the game like that, because I'll show you, if I load the game like that, oh look, they're just floating in the air, it doesn't make any sense. But I can actually start the simulation. Oh, excuse me, set all the Zs. I can start the simulation while in game, and they'll all come to a nice natural position, and then I can actually save out the level as it is there. It saves out to the resources folder as a temporary text file. There it is. Then I can just load that back in. Bam! They're all in their position at rest, which is cool, because it means that everything is natural when you start the game now, and there'll be no sort of, as soon as I start the simulation, nothing moves, because that's a rest position. So there's no sort of weird popping when you start the time. So yeah, this is one of the cool things that I've been working on. What else? I suppose it's all about the cool shit, isn't it? So I guess I've got a parallax effect, and you can see the background moves slower than the foreground. That's just every object can have this parallax behavior with a parallax value and an offset, and the camera just finds all the parallax objects in the scene and treats them in a way where when you move the camera, it offsets the background, so it's actually moving the background along with it, with a ratio obviously which you set in the parallax component. So that's cool, right? But it's all very well just having squares. It's kind of fun, I suppose, but it's going to get boring after a while. So we need some more interesting shapes. In my level objects, we have bamboo. These are actually fixed. I won't allow these to scale because these are fixed objects, so that will always be that high. I mean, you can do this, but you can't. Well, you can do this, but it looks stupid. There's no advanced sort of effects on that. That's just as it is. Whereas the wood, as you can see, if I make a really big piece of wood, or I stretch it really, I don't know what looks really stupid, that looks kind of crap. But when I load the game, it's all beautiful, because it's all tiled, it's got a outline, it's got a bevel effect, and this is all with a kind of a sort of 9-slice scaled sprite on top of the, well, first I set the UV points of the mesh so that it looks nice, it doesn't look all squashed. But then I've got this 9-sliced setup, like there's a corner, there's the right hand side, top corner, and they all just use this little tiny sprite. Oh, it's 256, doesn't need to be that big, but it's just an outline with a bevel. So you can see there's the top one's quite big. There's the bottom left corner, much smaller. I'm not on the actual back view now. So you can see it lines up perfectly when you're on the true isometric side-on camera. And there you go, lovely. So that's cool. You can make all sorts of variations. You can make a whole bunch of levels just with these objects without a problem. We've got no drop zones, so anywhere I put this, you won't be allowed to put one of your bugs. So this is more strategic elements as well. So you get the no entry symbol. So it won't let me. Nope. No. But I can put him above. Set a nice long timer and let him go crashing down. Maybe that was a bit too long. Bang! Okay, so that's another element. And the final thing that I want to show is the sort of what I've called the physics blocks, but you can call them whatever you want. This is a dirt one. I can just drag this into the scene. You see nothing's actually appeared. If I switch to the move handles, you can see that there is an object there. But this is where this little bit of editor scripting comes into play. So I've got this start button here, and this means I can draw points, and it will draw me a nice mesh, all triangulated. It's using a ear clipping algorithm to do the triangulation, and then once I hit stop, that's then done, sorted. It's in place. You can move it around, do what you want with it. And there's an add grass top, add black outline flags here. If I add grass top, it will only add grass on the sort of the edges that face the sky, or close enough to face the sky. So that's kind of nice. That's all physical as well. Like, you won't be able to put your object inside there, and he'll roll down if you whee. And the same goes for rocks as well. But the difference with the rocks is that they're actually live. So I can make a nice big shape there. Okay, stop that. We'll give it a black outline because it will match with the other objects that move. Okay, so there's a big hefty chunk of rock. If I press go, whoa, it's live. It lives. And that's done with flat colliders. They're all boxes with a 0 height. But that means that there's no mesh colliders used, so things shouldn't slow down too much on the iPhone. I've tested with a couple of these and like a whole bunch of objects and bombs. I'm still haven't really dropped below 50 frames per second yet on the iPad. And the iPhone 4 is the same. I haven't got a 3GS or a 3G, so I haven't been able to test on older generation devices, but at the moment all is going okay. If anyone would like to donate a 3G to me, that would be lovely, because then I can test all this stuff. No, I'm sure it'll be fine. Nothing to worry about. Okay, I think we're done here. That was all I really wanted to show you guys. So yeah, just remember this is Boombugs, and it will be coming out for iOS and Mac, and anything else if I actually make any money off the original release. Okay, cheers.